What's up?
I feel so good today.
I'm glad you do. I mean, even though it's fucking snowing earlier.
It's so nice. I think that contributes to my good mood.
Why, though? It's so dreary out.
Because I like
Are you
it.
one of those New Englanders that actually like snow?
I would prefer snow over rain or sunshine for that matter. Any day.
Okay.
I like the layers. Tank tops and shorts.
I do too. I feel like we always talk about how fucked up snow is, but
I look like if you took like a bunch of rubber bands and wrapped it around like a piece of chicken. That's like with the fat just like hanging in between them.
oh my god.
That's what
No.
So I try to layer it up.
Although this is why I don't like summer, because you have to wear less clothes, and I don't do shorts. I don't like going to the beach.
I don't even like flip-flops.
Me neither, because I hate my feet. Because I have giganto feet.
I've never noticed that.
I wear a size 9.
I wear a size 9, Amanda.
I know, and I'm 5'1". You're 5'8".
Ew.
I know. For comparison, Daniela wears a size 6. And she wears the same size as her 11-year-old.
My sister she's got a very tiny foot.
Like, what? I'm just Bigfoot. I don't... oh, whatever. How's your week?
I had a 4-day work week this week.
Nice.
It was nice.
And tomorrow's Mother's Day, so we get to celebrate our mothers.
My boss was like, "Hey, work Saturday?" Like last week, he texted me and I didn't answer. And then last night at 8:30, he's like, "Hey, can you come in?" I was like,
You're funny.
No.
Who the I wouldn't.
Nope. I'm done.
How's that?
I slept all day. I feel great.
That sounds amazing.
Oh, Javi always tries to wake me up like at 3 p.m. He's like, "Hey, get up and eat and like spend time with us." But really, I know it's because he's tired of the kids, and I refuse to wake up. But then that thing happens where I'm like up at 2:30 in the morning like this.
Yep.
I've told you I do the ghost shuffle around my
Yep.
house at that time.
That's like it's kind of one of those weird ambient times because you're awake but nobody else is.
Yeah. And I had this like really weird urge to like go out and see the sunset. I mean, sunrise.
Sunrise, yeah.
Yeah, but then I was like,
Aww.
I don't even know which way's east.
I don't even know from your house.
No, I don't. So I was just like, well, I guess I'll just stay here.
Wow. So saddy.
Well,
But other than life, we watched a shitload this week.
oh my God, I can't believe how much we watched.
So we're
up with the shows that we've been watching.
I know. It's almost like we're home all the time or something.
Got nothing else to do.
Oh God. But before we get into our fun stuff, don't forget to follow us on our social platforms. WAM 617 on Facebook and Instagram. WickedAwkward.com houses all of our wonderful stuff, recaps and info about us. I don't know. We share stories and shit. You can do that there.
Yeah.
Yep. And listen to us at wham.buzzsprout.com.
Or any other.
If you don't want to see our faces. I know. We're not, we're just your average. What?
I just moved all my shit.
Listen. So we're going to kick this off with upload or a game. That's what I thought. Okay. You already picked one. You didn't even tell me, so I'm not prepared.
Not even okay, so I understand the extreme personal questions part because there are questions in here that I'm just never going to answer. But for the most part, they're just questions.
Well, yeah.
Questions. For example, I actually didn't even finish reading this. I read the beginning 3 words and then the last 4.
Okay. Well, you know how how terribly they write those.
You know. All right. So what TV or movie star do you find to be sexy that likely the other players do not? See what I'm saying?
Oh wow, that's weird. That's so strange. Like,
What TV or movie star do you find sexy that I probably would never find sexy? I've got my answer.
well, you also don't like muscly tattooed men, and I do.
Well,
What?
tattoos, yes. Cute, like Dwayne Johnson.
Oh no,
I think the most muscle
just
that I
subtle
will
muscles.
accept is like Charlie Hunnam, where he's more cut than he is bulk.
Yes,
Because I like Jensen's dad bod.
I love Jensen's bod. Okay, so like season 6 of Supernatural, Jared, when he was like shirtless all the time.
That was so annoying.
I know, but you don't like that.
No,
I
no.
kind of do, but
If your man boobs are bigger than my normal boobs, and this isn't much, so it's like,
some people's pecs are bigger than yours. I'm sorry.
hey, I know it's very concerning. Like, what's that supposed to do to my self-esteem that I don't clearly have?
So I don't know because I feel like we have similar taste.
Can I tell you mine?
Yeah.
Seth Rogen.
Say again?
Seth Rogen.
Yeah, but he's like geeky hot.
I know.
Like teddy bear hot.
Michael Cera.
Really?
I'll peel. Oh my god.
Okay, that's very surprising, actually.
He's.
Okay.
I think it's only when he's acting, because he does that very weird, like, he's really good at awkward,
Yes.
but then when you see his interviews, he's got like his shit together, and it's really annoying.
Mm.
Um,
I don't even know what the fuck my answer is because everyone I keep thinking of, I'm like, nope, she thinks he's cute. Nope. She thinks,
say it anyways.
well, because,
Oh, because it's supposed to be like I'm most likely to not agree.
right.
Let's pretend there's other people in the room.
I really like Christian Bale. I feel like he can be sexy sometimes.
I I see, but no, not for me.
You don't
Who?
like Tom Hardy, do you?
I think he's a wonderful chap. I
Okay, so maybe Tom Hardy will be my answer.
Yeah, like I don't think like Chris Evans is hot, but I'm over it.
Yeah, no, I'm over that.
Um,
I like him more as a person.
yeah, Chris Pine is cute, but over it.
Nope.
The Hemsworth brother, like I get it, but
No.
I'd go for the little Hemsworth
Okay.
before Chris. I'd definitely go for Liam before I went for Chris.
Yeah.
But then he dated Miley, and that just makes me question his judgment. So I don't know.
I know. Holy fuck. Um, I
Kevin from Supernatural,
Kevin.
yeah,
Mm,
I like him.
I like his personality.
He's cute.
God, this is a hard question because yeah, everybody like Casey's popping up, Dylan O'Brien's popping up, but you think they're cute too, so that's
Yes, but Dylan, like, no, I get what you're saying.
yeah. Anyway, I'll stick with Tom Hardy for my answer because lips and voice and eyes.
He's got that broken pinky thing going on.
Mm-hmm. And he may not be well endowed, but I'm sure he knows how to use it.
Not about the ship thing. It's the motion of the ocean bullshit.
And he's a very alpha man, so
Isn't he like all about his? Oh my god, his dog died.
what?
Anyways, because
Okay.
he doesn't have a. Wait a second. Yes, he does.
What?
He got wife and children.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, he does.
See, that just puts you off, and I'm like, I don't care. I don't know these people.
It does put me off.
Yeah.
Mm.
So enough of that.
We surprisingly watch something together without meaning to watch it together.
Okay, listen. I keep seeing
like
what?
staticky thing. Do you not hear it? Is it just me?
I don't hear anything.
On your end, every time you talk, it starts to static. All right, go ahead.
Well, I'm recording, so we should be fine.
Okay, cool.
So I kept seeing the commercials for this, and every time I'm like, I should start that. I should really start watching that. And I eventually did.
remember it being promoted back when Code 8 was being promoted. Not really promoted, like he was talking about it because him and Steven would always talk about, and by him I mean Robbie Amell, sorry. So Robbie and Steven would always talk about Code 8, and then they would like say, oh, like, oh, I have a new series 2 upload coming up, and like I completely forgot about it. And then I was just like going through my shit on Amazon, and it was there, and I was like, oh, this was supposed to be a thing that I was supposed to watch.
Yep. So Upload is the show, and it's on Amazon Prime, and there's only 10 episodes between 20 and 35 minutes. Like,
Is that all it is?
yeah, they were wicked quick.
They felt so much longer. No
I
wonder they banged that out so quick.
Yes.
Okay.
And that's the only thing I hated about it, was that it went by way too fast.
But
Because
you know what? For that particular story,
it was enough. Yeah.
okay.
It was, if they did any more, it would have been too much. But you love the story so much that you're like, oh, why does it end right now? But so it stars Robbie Amell, who for some reason I didn't know that was really him. I'm like, why does that guy look so familiar?
Oh my god.
And I'm like, I'm such a fucking idiot. It's Robbie Amell. And y'all have probably seen the commercials. It's fucking everywhere.
Yeah.
Where it's like the afterlife, but it's very tech heavy. So it's like you're uploaded.
Customize your own afterlife.
Yes, you're uploaded into a digital afterlife, pretty much.
Like this. It's like how they have nursing homes.
Yep.
They have different types of heavens.
It's exactly like that.
That
And the
are
more money you have, the better off you are.
I was just gonna say that are financially appropriated to your finances, I guess.
I feel like and this takes place in like 2033, so it's close enough, but still far away.
2024, Oprah was president.
Yeah. I saw. I died when okay, so this is what I like about the show, is that there were so many little nuances like that that made the whole thing even better.
Yeah.
So it wasn't just a storyline, but it was like how they showed you the world. Like in fiction writing, this is how they tell you to show versus tell. That's what the show did, and that's why it's awesome.
I loved it. I loved how in the first few episodes they pointed out, so the heaven that he ends up in is Lakeview.
And his name is Nathan. Sorry, I just blanked. Nathan Brown.
He ends up in Lakeview because his extremely rich girlfriend kind of put him there. So it was very, just from like a medical stance, right? So he was in a really bad car accident, and it led him to end up having a punctured lung. So the choice was to either go to the ER and fix the punctured lung or get uploaded.
Because you can't upload a dead body, you have to be alive.
Exactly. And it's, so if you go to the OR and you die on the table, that's it. You go to like what we now believe is out there, which is like a regular heaven.
Right.
A lot of people believe in or whatever. But the cool thing about being uploaded is you can still talk to your loved ones.
Yes.
Because he's still FaceTiming his family and there's still communication. So it's like, why risk dying when you can just...
Yes. And this world they live in the real world, is so advanced in terms of technology. There's a lot of AI driven things. Like they have their
you 3D print your food.
Yeah, you 3D print your food.
That shit blew my mind. I was like,
they're talking about fat cartridges, and I'm like, what?
Like, you're not supposed to do 2 fat cartridges. And it's like, I can only fucking imagine the food probably tastes like flavored plastic.
Pretty much. But even, it was just like the little things that were very impressive. I'm like, oh, that's really cool. Like their cell phones can be on their hand. They just go like this, and it's like,
it's a watch, yeah. Or you do this.
Yeah.
Audio only. Why can't you video chat?
Yeah.
I started to say something. Oh, so I don't know how I felt about like when there was that option of like, do we go to the OR? Do we upload? Like, a punctured lung is something that's so
fixable.
Yeah, and like
he wasn't dying on, like, he didn't look like he was dying. He was very coherent.
He was, and that bothered me. Like, ethically, like, I felt like that was wrong. Like, I felt like, and I know this is just a show and it's for entertainment, but in my head, I was like, listen, there should only be certain circumstances to which you would have the choice to upload.
But he did sign a waiver.
He did, but I feel like a punctured lung wasn't like, that's not so critical, especially how coherent he was. That was not so critical that he needed to go and get uploaded. And then he got uploaded, and I damn near lost my ever loving mind.
Because then it all started.
His head just like singed off.
Oh, yeah.
And then his body just fell to ice water. I was like,
he had a nice ass though, but I want to say though that I thought he was gonna show up in Lakeview in the uploaded heaven, like without a head.
oh,
I mean, without a body,
okay.
because it was just the head that was like scanned up.
That was really strange.
But imagine just waking up in that world where it's like a fancy ass hotel.
Well, if you have the funds for that,
Right?
How? Because oh my god, have you compared it to Ready Player One?
Yes. Yes.
Because
Yes. Yes.
of the in-app purchases.
Yes.
And the ads. Remember how towards the end there's like ads everywhere? I was like, what
Popping
the
up.
fuck? I would hate that shit.
I would hate that shit.
He
but
said that's what the guy from the bad guy in Ready Player One was trying to do. Like he was trying to buy that universe so that he can do ads. And it's like, could you fucking imagine being in the middle of a campaign and all of a sudden there's just like pop-up ads everywhere?
It's annoying as fuck, but I have to say there's again, the many different nuances was what kind of sold it for me. And I think there was like these little funny moments. I was actually laughing out loud during this show. And I feel like I haven't done that in a very long time.
Yeah.
Because it was more cutesy. You know, it's not very dramatic.
Very quirky.
It is quirky. And it's very, it's very bright colored, and it
is
character, it's very fun, I will say. But so one of my favorite things was the AIs in the hotel, where like this ginger guy who can split apart into many different selves, and he's just like an AI, so he doesn't have like a conscience or whatever.
Yeah.
But he develops this like wicked hard crush on Robbie and Mel, and I was dying though.
It's like when he was brushing him down there, he's like, what are you doing? He's like,
yep. No. When he was getting dressed for his funeral.
Yeah.
And the AI was like, okay, you can go. And the AI starts to pixelate away, but then it like goes on his face, and he's still like staring at him. Little things like that were killing me.
I found it interesting every time they pointed out a glitch.
Yes.
I loved that.
Me too.
I loved that. I love how they did an update on the entire like Lakeview universe. Like
that was
cool.
pretty.
Yeah. So it's just it's very interesting. It definitely makes you wonder like where we're headed.
That's exactly where we're headed, I'm sure.
I feel like, yeah, because I remember saying at some point, and I'm sure it was off air because I don't think I've ever, but like, I know we talked about like if I could just add another 100 years to my life expectancy.
Yeah, we have talked about this, yeah.
The other thing would be like, I wish I could just like save all my shit like on a hard drive or something and then upload it onto a new body in like 200 years and see where the fuck I'm at.
Yeah, which is exactly kind of what upload touches upon. So
but the whole point of being uploaded to heaven is so that it's basically like a holding place because they're trying to figure out, okay, well, if we can upload people or their spirits or souls or their minds or whatever to this heaven, can we download them back into a body? That did not go well.
No, it didn't. But the thought came into my head that they sabotaged that somehow, because then they would lose all their money if people are just being downloaded into a new body.
That was another thing. There was a lot of conspiracies in this show.
Yes.
And there was not one thing I hated about this entire show.
No, it actually, that part lent the realism to me, because I mean, hello, how many fucking conspiracies there are in our world today.
And I like the chemistry between Nathan and Nora so much.
Oh, me too. It was so cute.
I don't think I could ever help but like I would want to stay at work all day and talk
Me
to
too.
people. Could you imagine, right? Our time, all right, and Lakeview is like for all celebrities, but for some reason we came into money or we won like one free spot at Lakeview. Do you know all the celebrities that we would be dead with?
I know. It would be dope. That's another thing I liked was that they had like the 100-year-old woman and she was all black and white.
I know. They could be
I
like,
was like, that's
choose
dope.
your best photo. Like, I want this photo. Do you know how many fucking selfies I would have to take just in case?
Just in case.
Today's the day I have to upload.
Yeah.
Oh, I loved everything about that show. It was so wholesome.
Yeah, I don't think there was anything that I hated about it.
Mhm.
It was good. There's character development that I really enjoy. It's got, again, all those little like humorous bits. Okay, wait. My favorite humor part was
Yeah.
when Byron was buying condoms and they had the
Oh,
little scanner that scanned his crotch and it was like your condom size is medium and he was like, well, I'm gonna go for a large here. And then the announcer over the speaker was like, condom size dispute in aisle
you.
4.
Yeah. Oh, I loved it.
And it was just little things like that that were,
That was very realistic to me too, how in the living world there was machines that were like at the checkout. Like, I
yeah.
very much see it going there for sure. I don't really know if I believe like the whole self-driving car. I don't know if that's to
I
be,
hate that. That freaks me out.
I don't know if that's and it's like nowadays everything can be hacked. So
Exactly as they show you an upload.
yeah, do you really want to risk it with something like that? I did not hate, because we have Apple watches and shit like that. We have smart watches. So I definitely liked that. I think the only thing that made me nervous, it's like if this was to be our future, is the fucking cars is what freaks me out.
Yeah.
I didn't.
But it also brought out the child in me when in the first episode Nathan brought out his like game controller to plug in
Oh,
and he was like zipping through and I was like, "Oh my god, that would be so
oh,
much fun."
can we talk about what was his name? The child that was in the heaven.
Dylan?
Something. And he had himself in Street Fighter mode.
That's epic.
Hadouken, Hadouken. I was like, yo.
That's him. Oh my god. And he would just beat the AI's ass.
I can see how he go into like a gamer world and he'd be like, fuck my family, I'm gonna go play video games. Like, I
Yeah.
totally see that happening.
Another favorite is Choate, that really old guy in Lakeview who's like really creepy.
Yeah.
He's like, they killed the last black rhino so that I could have the
Oh,
taste of this. He's like, get me an Arnold Palmer, and an Arnold Palmer, and the dude pops up and he just tackles the shit out of. Oh my god,
that shit
I
was
just
so.
love it.
Do you know what I would love to see though is so they went into like the dark web,
Yeah,
right? I would love to see, because I remember when he was looking at other places to live because he was trying to get out of Lakeview, right? I would love to see where like it would be like an in-app purchase to basically jump into another world just for visiting. So
oh
it's kind of like in Ready Player, I keep hitting this fucking table. Kind of like in Ready Player One, where there's like multiverses in this
yeah,
one universe, and you can just go and pop in wherever.
yeah. Because right now you'd have to go on a hard drive and then
Be physically transported.
yeah, and that's a
It,
mess.
and that's like a whole new like membership type of thing. Like you're looking to get out of this contract type. But it would be really cool to see like them being like, oh, I want to go visit this world for a weekend or that world for a weekend. I
Yeah,
think it'd be really cool.
I just love it all.
I'm excited for season 2.
Me too. It needs to come like now though because I'm about to rewatch this and
I know it's such a quick, like it flies by, and
but
everything is so important, and
yeah,
it's pertaining to the story. Like there's no filler moment.
nope.
I love
I just love it all. You
yeah.
got everything you need.
What's his name?
Um,
Luke, the soldier Luke.
yeah. Oh my god, when he was on that date with like the chicks and the Asian girl powered down, it was like, "Freddie, dinner's ready." He goes, "I'm coming, ma."
It was like, dude, like, bro, how lucky are you?
Yeah. Whew. That was funny.
That part confused me a little. Like I didn't understand what was going on, and then I realized that that's just people at home in VR coming in.
Yeah. So that they can have sex with
Yeah.
dead people pretty much.
I don't think that's because the dead people are not allowed on that floor.
I know, that's why he hacked his way in.
Yeah. Oh God, I loved everything.
Yeah, it was just good. So really check it out. I don't think the trailer does it any justice.
No, it doesn't.
It's definitely a lot more than what it shows.
It's so good.
Yeah, it's not just the in-app purchases and like, oh, this is a cool world. It's has layers.
A lot more to it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
So definitely check that out. Amazon Prime. It's worth it.
Her name is Andy Allo.
What?
Nora, the girl that plays Nora.
Oh yeah, I love her. She's so pretty.
Cute.
And I'm like, damn, she can pull off a pixie cut. Damn her and her natural beauty. Uh,
Right.
so what movie did you watch this week? What? Listen.
Many things this week. I don't
What
even
was
know
your
where to
favorite?
No, I want to save my favorite for.
Okay, all right.
So I watched 3 movies in total, and I'm only just gonna mention the first 2, and then I want you to tell me about what you watch, and then I'll finish off with what I watch, and then like that.
Okay.
So, Little Women, I watched. It was released last year, and I've never seen the other one, original.
Me
I've never
neither.
read the book. I only watched this because it's Saoirse Ronan, who I'm kind of like slightly obsessed with.
She's
And
awesome though.
yes, and then Emma Watson, and who we all know who she is, and Eliza Scanlon from I've seen her in Sharp Objects,
Yes.
and Laura Dern
Ooh.
from Jurassic Park,
Mm-hmm.
Timothy Chalamet, Chris Cooper,
Oh, okay.
Bob Odenkirk, and Meryl Streep.
Damn, that is a cast.
Good cast, right? So
Yeah.
that's why I watched it. I enjoyed it very much. I related to
What's the premise again? I can never remember.
so Little Women. It's mom lives with her 4 daughters, and their dad is like overseas or something fighting in a war, and he nicknamed them Little Women, right? So these girls are like very unconventional for their time. So Saoirse's character is very tomboyish, and she loves to write, and she very much wanted to go and fight in the war. And then she's got, a sister who's very musically inclined. The other one wants what women at that time wanted, which was like marriage and children and marry into money and stuff like that. And then she also has a sister who she is like her rival, her sibling rival. And Timothy Chalamet is the guy that's totally crushing on Saoirse, but the rival sister's crushing on Timothy, and Saoirse could care less about him. She just wants to fucking write, never get married, never have children.
Can relate to that.
Yes. So it basically is a story about all that, and like it goes from there to where the sisters end up, and it's it's very empowering. It's a story that's very well told. The director was Greta Gerwig, who did Lady Bird,
yeah,
also with Saoirse,
and
then she also did Isle of Dogs.
Yeah, I was gonna say I know that name.
Yeah, so it's definitely, I enjoyed it. If you've watched the original Little Women, I don't see why you wouldn't. This one's really good.
Okay, only because it's like so not my cup of tea,
Well, I think you would be able to relate to her, because up until you met the scribe, I was like, this is Amanda.
True.
In a skirt.
Oh God.
You had to wear a skirt. Only because you had to wear a skirt.
Okay.
And
I'll
then
take your word for it.
Yeah, the other movie I watched, which was completely spontaneous, I watched it last night at like fucking 1:00 in the morning. I found under, like I told you, under the umbrella of Prime Video, IFC Films by Xantium, and it's also with Saoirse Ronan. I don't know who else is in the fucking movie, but it's about vampires, and it's a very weird take.
When does it take place?
During like modern times, but it flashes back because they're about 200 years old, these vampires.
Okay.
So the 2 ladies, they go by as sisters, only because it's really her mom. It's Saoirse's mom, but she was turned at a very young age, so she went and turned Saoirse. So it was really weird because they don't have fangs. Their thumbnails grow to a point, and they puncture and drink that way.
That's not very sexy.
No, but I feel like I've also seen that before. Also, the way that they're turned is not by each other. So they have to travel out to sea to this really weird island, right? Okay. Yeah. And they go into this, it looks like a man-made little hut, like a stone hut type of thing. and in there is either an entity or something, but it always takes, so like if I walked in there, a bunch of bats fly out, and then
Always the pets.
yeah, and then the entity ends up looking exactly like me. It attacks me, it drains me, and then all the waterfalls that are coming down from the mountains turn to red.
Okay.
And you come back as, you die, you come back as a vampire. So in this
Gotcha.
movie, yeah, it's very strange. In this movie, vampirism is a brotherhood. Women are not allowed to be vampires. So
Okay.
at a very young age, Claire was taken from, I don't know what exactly, I think it was her home or something, but she was taken by some captain there or whatever. And basically she was taken to a whorehouse, and he ruined her reputation, and she ended up working at the whorehouse. And he would come and visit her often and just make her feel like shit and beat her and all this stuff. And somebody had given him like the map to this cave to turn into a vampire because he was dying. She attacked him, stole the map, and went and turned herself.
Okay.
She had had a child by, she's like a bastard child, right? And her name is Eleanor Webb. And when she had the child, she gave it to an orphanage, and they were raised in religion like they usually were back then.
Yeah.
She was raised to always tell the truth, but her mom was a whore. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? She's always been a stripper, or she's always worked girls. Even into modern days, that's all she did. That's how she made her money. So it's definitely like polar opposites. And then the kid from the X-Men series with fuck. I knew this was gonna happen to me.
X-Men series.
Yes, not the Hugh Jackman ones, the other ones.
Okay.
The kid that uses the echo to like fly.
Oh,
He,
yes.
he's in that movie. He's in this.
Okay.
So
I
she
don't know
meets
his name.
him. I don't know his name either. She meets him. They fall in love. She finds out he has leukemia, and she tells him her truth, which is something that they were never allowed to do. And he told multiple people, so now they're like outed.
Mm-hmm.
It was fabulous. It's great.
So, like, you enjoyed it? It was good?
I did.
Okay.
It was a different. It was. It reminded me of The Lost Boys a little bit.
Really?
Because it's got that
Shout out.
weird carnival scene in it,
Okay.
and it's the tone of it was kind of dark the way that movie was.
Okay. I love a dark tone.
Yeah, so it's interesting to watch like her go against her mom, and her being raised the way that she was, and all the trauma that happened to her mother, and it was
Hey,
just,
it sounds very interesting and
yeah,
different.
the dynamics were really cool. And then I really like, they were out and about in the sunlight, that didn't bother them. So I like the take, and like Saoirse's character Eleanor, she only fed on people who were ready to die. So she tend to only feed
Oh,
elderly people. Yes. So
that's different.
yeah, so she would take it to a religious place, like peace be with you, and she would pray before she fed on them. Yeah.
With her thumb.
Well, she just punctured so
I
that
know, sorry.
gave her access. But it's really weird because when Clara was like in her murderous rage, she was like, I hate you. Type.
I'm gonna kill you with my thumbnail.
Yeah, but it was really freaky.
Oh God.
But
I mean, 2012. I'll take it. I'll give it a shot.
it was like Sweeney Todd blood. It was like really bright, weird red.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll give it a go, I guess.
You'd have to rent it. I rented it. I didn't sign up for IFC films.
No.
But I enjoyed it. So
Oh, good. Well,
I
I
haven't
will,
watched, but I want to hear about what you've watched.
okay.
Go on.
What I watched. On Shudder, as I've said before,
Mhm.
is awesome. Not a lot on there yet, but it's getting there. So they have they brought back Creep Show, which was kind of like an anthology TV show from back in the day. I want to say 80s, 70s, 80s. It was on, yeah. It was on TV, and it was just like a horror-based, here are these short stories in film form, go at it, you know?
Yeah.
So the scribe was over in my house, and my dad was like, I want to watch Creep Show. I want to watch Creep Show. So we put it on, and it's two stories, like two short films kind of in an episode, which is about an hour long.
Okay.
And the first one was based off of a Stephen King novella. I mean, not any surprise there.
Okay.
It wasn't, I mean, it wasn't, they're not, let's just say there's a low budget.
Yeah.
But it's basically just telling horror stories. And the first one was called Gray Matter. Like,
Like the brain.
yeah, he turned into, like, some dad turned into a monster because of a drinking habit, and there was goo on it, and it turned him into a monster that ate people.
There was
But
on the beer. I mean, on the.
on the beer can. So I mean, that's straightforward. But the second part of that episode was actually kind of creepy. It was called The House of the Head, which I was like, that's a great brothel house name. I know. I got that exact reaction
I
from
like where
everybody.
your mind's at, though.
Yeah. But it was about a girl who had a really large dollhouse in her room. And she had like the little figurines, the mom, dad, a little boy, a dog. But she comes home from school one day and finds a little zombie head like on the coffee table. And I was like, okay, but it looks like an action figure head. Like it's just like this
Oh,
little
I
head.
was gonna say, like, what are we talking about here?
No, it's just like a little action figure size zombie head, and it was like on the coffee table.
Okay.
But then she'd like look around the house like, where'd you come from? And then she'd go back and it's not on the table anymore. And then she'd like go to bed, go away, and she would come back and the zombie head is like somewhere else. And the dolls were positioned differently. The dog was like turned and they were all looking up at the ceiling. Like you don't see them move, but she just moves to like another room and then like it's bam, they move again.
It's like Elf on a Shelf.
Yeah, but it's like this dollhouse is haunted with by this like zombie head. But so then she goes to the doll maker store, buys a cop doll to put in the house. So then you see the cop doll is like in the attic, like shining a flashlight. And then the next thing you know, it's like on the ground at the end of the stairs, and all the figurines are like looking up at the attic door. The dog is outside. The zombie head's in the mirror. Like it's just you don't see anything move, but the way they shoot it, it's very well done.
You
And
know,
I was creeped. Let's just say I was creeped out, man.
that reminded me of an episode of season 1 of Supernatural, where he goes to the haunted hotel,
Yes.
and it's like the grandma's twin sister,
Yep.
but there was like dolls everywhere in the
Yep.
dollhouse and
Yep. I
all that
remember that.
shit. Yeah, that was those episodes were creepy. That is creepy.
I know. It was actually a lot like that. Because the dollhouse was kind of like that big. And it was just very well done. And I was creeped. But I think my favorite, the episode was called The Finger. I don't know if you know the actor.
Like sexual innuendos in that.
I know, I don't know. Um, I don't know if you know the actor DJ Qualls. He was on The New Guy, that movie that came out in early 2000s. He was on, oh, he was Garth on Supernatural.
Oh, Garth. I know Garth.
Yes. Okay. So Garth was in it. And he finds a finger that looks like a witch's finger. So it's like really bony. It's got that long nail. Yeah. And he brings it home because he likes to collect things.
Wait,
And
find
he's
this finger.
outside, like on the ground. Yeah. So he brings it home and it's on his desk, but he spills his bourbon. And he's like, oh shit. But he notices that it twitched when the bourbon hit it. So he's like, okay, all right. He puts it in a little like butter dish and puts it in the fridge. And then the next day he noticed that it was not in the butter dish in the fridge. And it was in his living room and it grew a second finger. So fast forward, he throws the thing in the big freezers that you can put like in your garage,
Yeah.
hide a dead body in kind of.
Yeah.
He throws it in there and then let's just say it keeps growing and it turns into this thing. It's a mixture between those really skinny aliens and Men in Black.
Yeah.
It turns into a mixture between that and like the alien.
What
Like,
the fuck?
yeah, it's kind of like that. He names it Bob. The thing, he wakes up and finds a human heart in his garage because Bob went out, killed his ex-wife because Garth hated her, and this thing becomes his pet. And anybody that Garth does not like, Bob will kill for him. Pretty much. But he becomes a pet. Like you see this thing sitting on the sofa eating popcorn and they're watching movies. But it's like an alien thing. Doesn't talk, but it makes little mewling sounds like a cat would, you know?
Oh my god.
And oh god, it was just so fucking crazy. And it like kills anybody that Garth doesn't like. And it was just so bad that it was so funny. Like we were laughing our asses off.
You like Ash and the Evil Dead?
Yeah, it's a lot like that actually.
Right.
So,
That sounds a little bit like John dies at the end.
yeah, I would say it's more Ash versus the Evil Dead.
Okay.
But so that's what Creep Show is. It's like little stories like that, about a half hour each.
Mini series.
Um, yeah, and
Oh,
it's if you
you
like
said,
horror,
you said anthology, right?
yeah.
So
So it's
like
like
Black Mirror.
two stories in one episode,
Yeah.
and they're not connected in any way.
Yeah, like Black Mirror.
Yes, just not that big of a budget.
Oh,
So
that sounds fun though.
it is fun. So if anybody likes shit like that,
I
I
thought
do
you were gonna go
recommend it.
like with the whole finger thing. I thought you were gonna go more towards Idle Hands.
Oh no,
I thought that's what you. I didn't think it was gonna go
no.
through a whole fucking thing.
Yeah, but it's so cute because the thing needs the freezer to I don't know why. So it sleeps in there and he like will open it and he'll just like watch its chest like rise and fall and it like twitches in its sleep. It's like
Like a
it's
dog.
yeah.
Oh my.
It's basically a dog but that can like sit and eat popcorn and watch movies with you but also kills people you don't like. So, yeah.
I think I might watch it.
Anyway,
Sounds like my cup of creepy.
it's a good cup of creepy. I'll give you that much. So, oh god.
You still have more, don't you?
Well, not for Creep Show.
Oh, did you have something else?
Well, I didn't finish it, but last night the scribe and I started watching the Pharmacist docuseries on Netflix.
Okay.
And it's very interesting. It does have to do a lot with like the opioid epidemic, but it starts with like a true crime thing that takes up about 2 episodes, I'd say.
How many episodes?
It's a limited series, so it's only about
Okay.
8 or so. Um, but what happened was that this guy, Dan Schneider, is a pharmacist. But back in 1999, I think it was, he had a teenage son who was shot in like the really scummy part of New Orleans, or a scummy part of New Orleans. And because people only go there to buy crack. That's when crack cocaine was like a big deal, whatever.
Yeah.
So they didn't know he had a drug problem. And the cops are basically like, this is just a drug deal gone bad. We're not looking into it. So the dad becomes like wicked obsessive, Dan Snyder. So obsessive to find out who killed his son. I mean, this dude is like walking in the bad parts of New Orleans, like where there's not a lot of white people, let's say. And if you are white, you're either a cop or an insurance guy. And he would literally open up the phone book and call house by house by house to see if anybody knew anything about the night that his son was shot. And that actually led to finding a witness who saw the whole thing. They found his killer, blah, blah, blah.
Wow.
But that was only the first 2 episodes. And that was kind of a precursor to the rest of it, which is as a pharmacist, he noticed like how addictive he knows the addictive pills, like that becomes his lifelong goal of eradicating these heavy opiates that doctors are prescribing.
Yeah, because they literally just fill
Yeah.
out scripts and just send them. Yeah.
So he was noticing that. I mean, it was just like a backyard pharmacy. It wasn't anything like Walgreens or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But he would notice that all these healthy, like young, teens, young 20s, like kids would come in and get OxyContin prescriptions filled. And he's like, they don't look like they're in pain. Like, he's like, something's going on here.
Yeah.
So at first he would try to like, if you have this amount of pain, take Motrin. Like, he would try to talk them off of not filling the prescription. But, how often does that work?
Can pharmacists even do that?
Well, this was the early 2000s, so I'm sure it's different now.
Oh, so it's before all the shit that's going on now.
Yeah. So, but what blew my mind was that he saw through all these prescriptions was that they were all being filled by the same doctor. This Dr. Jacqueline Cleggett or something in New Orleans. And she was literally one person that worked in this doctor's office. She was open from like 11 p.m. all through the late hours. Yeah. And he videotaped her. Like, she would have people lining up out the door to get into her. And they would just to get the same exact prescription written for them for OxyContin, Xanax, and Soma. Yeah.
So did she not think that wasn't gonna?
Oh, no. This was like an undercover like drug ring. Like, she was purposefully getting paid to give these people Oxy. And it said they looked at her IRS filings and she like had $2 million on the books because they all paid her in cash. And it was so fucked up. I'm like, and there were cops there. Like, they were there letting her operate. So I'm like, this is a lot of fucked up. So it goes into the whole thing. FBI was involved, DEA. I haven't finished it, but it was just like, the fact this was going on was just absolutely bonkers.
I'll watch it. I love watching shit like that. As awful
Yeah.
as that sounds.
And I've only seen the first couple episodes, so I don't even know how it ends. But
I'm sure it went well for her.
it's very interesting.
Holy shit.
Yeah. So
It's
highly recommend that one.
Now they try to because I remember, I know that like my mom, like whenever she goes in for stuff, they'll be like, oh, start on Motrin and see how that works. I remember when I went for so I was like in a really bad car accident a couple years ago, and it wasn't until like 3 to 6 months after the accident that I started to get back spasms.
Mm-hmm.
And it got so bad that I went to the ED. And I'm a person that like I will suffer through anything before I take meds.
Right. Yeah.
I tried everything. I tried the Motrin. I tried Tylenol. I tried piggybacking the meds. Like, it just was not working. And the doctor, when I got there, he thought I was seeking pills.
Oh my God.
I was like, no, I just need like a higher dose of Tylenol if you have that. They ended up giving me a shot in my ass. That was fun. I think it was Toradol.
Oh, okay. I was like, hey, bend over.
Yeah, it was Toradol. And I remember the nurse being like, it's not the shot that hurts, it's the meds. Just because they were just trying to avoid to give me any prescription with anything.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, look, I don't want a prescription. I don't. I just want something to alleviate this pain so I can fucking walk.
Yeah.
So that ended up working.
Just let me walk, people.
Yeah. But I even remember when I had the kids, for Kane, they gave me Vicodin for the pain afterwards. Yeah. And for Kira, they were giving me Percocet. And I remember the Percocet, they give you Motrin and then Percocet every so many hours. And it was making me so drowsy and sleepy. I was like, why am I so tired? And the nurse was like, well, it's probably the Percocet. I'm like, please stop giving me that shit. Like, I wish, because you're not in your right mind, when after you've had a child, you're just like, whatever, the pain hurts. It's like, just make it go.
Give me whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's just like, and she said it was a low dose too. I was just like, I can't, it's trash. I can't.
No, this doctor though was giving prescriptions of like 40 milligrams and above for Oxy. And for like normally healthy people, they had people literally traveling from like Tennessee, Alabama,
Just
like Florida, Georgia, all these different places, and would camp out in this doctor's fucking parking lot just to get in to see her. I was like, how do they not see this?
Pill addiction is so bad. It's so bad. And the thing is, it's like, once you run out of money or there is like no more, that's when they start turning to heroin, because they're like, oh, it's the same effect, but it's cheaper.
Yeah, they did talk about that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the heroin pill. That's what they said it was like.
I have patients coming in all the fucking time bragging about how they started on Oxy or whatever, and now they can't, you know what I mean? They can't do it anymore, so they do heroin or fentanyl.
Yep. They prescribed it for my brother when he had his first hip done. And they didn't replace it. They did something stupid, like put some type of metal and like screwed it to his, anyway.
Yeah.
And he was in so much pain, but he didn't want to take it because in his mind it's drugs. He's like, I don't want to do drugs, Mom. I don't want
I
to.
am the same way.
So I don't blame him, but it's like, what else can you do, if you're in pain
And
or that amount of pain?
the shit is that bone pain is the most painful kind of, like, that's top notch pain right there. My mom has to get her meniscus and a partial knee replacement. She has to go get that shit fixed.
My mom too.
And I know that they're probably going to give her something with an O in it, but she's probably not going to take it. She'll probably just try to do Motrin or something over the counter.
My mom's actually been doing, we have CBD gummies, and I guess those help a little bit with pain.
It does, because it's really good for, CBD is actually like highly recommended for joint pain and shit like that. Yep. So I'm going to see
if you don't want to be like on marijuana,
I mean, why not?
THC. I mean, that would be nice, but I don't have any excuses.
I'm gonna see if I can talk her into that instead, especially where like.
And they taste like Sour Patch Kids.
Yep, and they have no effect. And I know she's gonna be like, I don't want to be high, and I'm just like.
Yo, I took a couple just to like try them because for anxiety, I like fell asleep at 8:30. And I slept all night, and it was, oh my God, it was
almost like you don't realize how much pain you're in. I got him out. Until you take something that's for like pain, to alleviate pain, and you're like, oh, this is like a miracle. I feel so great. And then you immediately feel like shit once it wears off.
Yeah. Oh, it's like if you have a stuffy nose and you alleviate, you're like, oh my God, I can breathe.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. No, I totally like 100% approve CBD products.
And yeah, and you would know, so.
I would take anything CBD before you say to me, here, have some Tylenol.
Yeah. And plus they make it in some really nice, edible stuff, so.
Yes. This is a wonderful fucking segue, by the way.
Okay.
So I watched The Gentleman.
How was this a good segue? What was it about?
I was shocked to find out that the whole purpose of the movie The Gentleman, starring Matthew McConaughey, Charlie Hunnam, Michelle Dockery from Defending Jacob.
Oh, okay.
Yes, Colin Farrell.
Damn.
Hugh Grant. Tom Wu. You know who Tom... Wait, do you know... Have you seen King Arthur?
Uh-huh.
Oh, Tom Wu's in this?
Yeah.
Fucking phenomenal cast.
Oh, that cast.
But it takes place in London, which I loved even more.
Wait, Matthew McConaughey didn't have an accent, did he?
No, he was American.
Thank God.
So it reminded me of Kingsman, because it's that aesthetic. The entire movie is based around Matthew McConaughey's marijuana business.
Oh, what time frame is this? Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's nowadays. It's current.
Okay.
All right. So, but they all wear really nice suits.
Yeah, I remember that.
It looks so nice. It's very classy. But Matthew McConaughey is very much a fucking thug, and Charlie Hunnam is his right-hand man.
Oh God.
And I love it because Charlie Hunnam is a right-hand man with OCD.
Oh.
And I love it. And it's so good. So the whole thing is that Matt is trying to sell his business. He wants to retire.
Matthew McConaughey?
Yeah.
His name's Matt?
No, I just can't remember what it was. Oh. No, wait, did I write this down? I might have written this down.
Just say Matthew McConaughey. We're not going to know any different.
I know, but that's a mouthful.
Okay, just say Matt.
Oh, he goes by Mickey. It's Michael Pierce, right? So it's Mickey, Charlie Hunnam plays Ray, and they're trying to sell their business to this guy. He just wants to retire and live a good life, right? So it's told... Did you watch King Arthur? Did I ask you that?
Yes.
Okay. You know how one of the beginning scenes when they introduce Charlie, the police go to Charlie and they're like, I want you to tell me a story. Mm-hmm. It walks you through the story, but it's being played out.
Yep.
2/3 of this movie is like that.
Okay.
So it opens up with Hugh Grant waiting for Charlie. Hugh Grant's name is Fletcher, and he's waiting for Ray. He basically broke into Ray's house, and he's like, oh, I want you to play a game with me or whatever, very Saw-esque. But he basically walks him through all this information that he found out about Mickey, how he runs his business, where he keeps his business, because the amount of weed that this man grows is unfucking believable. Like, I can't. So basically, he has, you know how they have lords and duchesses and all that shit over there? So he pays off people with estates.
Oh, okay.
And he puts a trailer in these estates.
Uh-huh.
You go into the trailer, and there's a secret passage that leads underground.
Okay.
And takes up a huge portion of the estate, and those are his grow houses.
Damn.
He's got 12 of these motherfuckers.
Ooh.
Yes, he's trying to sell it for 400 million pounds. I don't know what that translates to in US dollars.
Fucking hell.
I can imagine it's a lot. So, and he's trying to sell it to another American man. So it's like all these, it was supposed to be between them. It got out. One of his grow houses got raided, and it was like this whole bunch of shit. I don't know. But I don't even know where to start because it's so entwined.
Yeah.
It's so entwined. And Hugh Grant, the whole time, he's basically telling the story and giving Ray all these facts because it's leading him to blackmail Ray and Mickey.
Okay.
And then the big twist happens at the end, but I'm not going to reveal that. I'm pretty certain there will be a second part.
Okay.
So I don't want to spoil anything.
Yeah, please don't, because that sounds really good. Where'd you watch it?
I bought it.
Of course you fucking did.
I bought it. I did not fucking hesitate. And the wonderful thing about this movie is there's no sex. And
really?
And the violence is not that violent. A couple gunshots, and a lot of them it's like people are getting shot and you don't even see it. You just see like spatter.
Okay. It's different.
Yeah, it's not. What I like is that it doesn't depend on those things. It heavily depends on the story, and the story is so perfect. Guy Ritchie wrote and directed this.
You know what? You should have just said that from the beginning.
I'm sorry.
Any Guy Ritchie movie is gold for some reason in my eyes.
And it takes those twists and turns just like Sherlock Holmes.
Yep.
It does that. And it's just a story that is flawlessly and beautifully told. And I believe in my mind that Matthew McConaughey and Charlie Hunnam are each other's, like they lean on each other. Like Matthew's out there depending on Charlie for shit. And Charlie's just getting it done.
I like that.
Carol had his natural accent.
Oh.
Which I barely
his Irish accent.
Yes. Yes. I barely understood it, but I absolutely loved it.
Okay, look at her. She's choking herself, people.
Salt and pepper hair.
Oh my God. I need to watch this now.
It makes some dude fuck a pig. But they don't show you that.
Okay, good.
Noises and their reactions on their faces, it just tells you everything you need to know. Like, you don't need to see anything.
What? You know what's funny? McConaughey actually came up in conversation last night.
Did he?
Because last night, Describe and I were watching the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the original.
Yeah.
And I had no idea that there was a third one starring Matthew McConaughey and Renee Zellweger from 1995. And I was like, where is this movie? I need to see it now.
No, Renee Zellweger.
And Matthew McConaughey in a Texas Chainsaw movie. How bad does that sound?
That sounds wonderfully awful.
So I need to find it and I need to watch it because it sounds terrible.
But you first need to rent this shit and watch this shit.
Oh, I think I'm actually going to use that as my movie tonight.
It's so good. Amanda, I've watched it 3 times this week.
Damn.
3, because it's so good. Like, I love it. I love how he comes in business like, I'm gonna fucking blackmail you and you're gonna fucking pay me because I have all this information and I'm gonna let this shit out if you don't pay me. And Charlie's like, oh, okay, well, let me hear what you gotta say then. And it's just like, they're talking, it's playing on screen, it cuts to like, I gotta take a minute, I gotta use the bathroom, okay, whatever, go plays this. Like, it is just Genius.
Sounds good, in other words.
So fucking good. It was worth the $20.
20.
Worth it.
Oh my god. That's
14,
a lot.
one of the two.
I know.
Um,
That
but
sounds awesome, though. I have my movie for the night then.
Henry Golden is also in it. Do you know who that is? Which, okay, so there's like an Asian gang involved in this, but they all have super British accents, and it totally
Oh.
fucked me.
I was gonna say, is it the Yakuza?
No, not the Yakuza.
Wow.
It's Tom Woo's gang. He goes by Lord George.
Lord.
Yeah. Which I thought was funny because he was also George in King Arthur.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah, which I think Guy Ritchie also wrote that. He did. He was part.
I was gonna say he usually uses
Yeah.
actors over. Yeah.
Because he did King Arthur,
Sherlock Holmes 1 and 2.
Aladdin, Snatch, Rock and Rolla.
Yep. Oh, I love that
I
movie.
know you love it. That's why I wrote it down. So,
Snatch, yeah, stock, barrel, shock, no. Stock, barrel, and whatever. It was one of his early ones.
I know which one you're talking about. I did see.
Yeah.
Do you know who Jeremy Strong is? Because he plays Matthew. He's like this.
Yes.
He's
Yes.
he's the one that Mickey's trying to sell his business to.
Okay. Yeah.
And it basically, I don't want to.
Oh no, I'm thinking of Mark Strong. Sorry.
No, this is Jeremy Strong.
No idea then.
Michelle Dockery also uses her natural accent.
Which I had no idea.
Fucking fantastic.
See?
Love every minute of it.
Gotta love these fucking Brits who know how to work an accent.
Hang up with me right now and go fucking, this is what you need to do, like, immediately.
Okay, I will.
I need you to, because I need you to, I'm gonna watch it again too. I need you to give me the play-by-play of what you think, because it's so good.
Listen to you.
Oh, it's so good.
Well, if that isn't high praise, I don't know what is.
It's so satisfying when you find a movie that I remember that trailer, and it was so low-key and so not what I thought it was going to turn out to. The first time I watched it, I was thoroughly confused.
Really? Because
they don't refer to it as marijuana. I think it was like once or twice that he says Mary Jane. He is super extra cheese something or other. It gives it a different, like, it's strain name.
Yeah.
You know? And that was just what?
No, I was just gonna say it's the smarter version of Pineapple Express.
Super smart.
Super smart. No, but I was just gonna say that trailers are difficult because the trailers are either better than the movie itself, or all the good parts in the movie are in the trailer, or it doesn't really do it justice because the movie is so amazing and complex.
And that upsets me, because if the trailer is low key, then you're like, oh, this movie's just gonna be whatever.
Exactly, but then it turns out to be fucking amazing.
Yes!
And you're like, people, watch this.
You know what? I think they probably made the trailer like that because of this cast.
That's a big cast.
It's a good cast.
It's a lot. It's a heavy hitting cast.
Yes, and it's like Charlie Hunnam. You know, he's been out of the game from SOA, and he did a couple things. You know what I mean? And it's like the director itself. It was just.
I just love Guy Ritchie because he goes for the story, and then builds up everything else around it.
So every time I watch a movie or a series, like, you know how, like, you can tell when the sex scenes are coming.
Oh yeah.
No pun intended. But
I didn't even fucking catch that.
It just, whenever I got that vibe, it didn't turn into that. And I was like, whoa, okay. Because Matthew McConaughey and Michelle Dockery are the couple in this. And they're like a powerhouse couple. Like, she's there for her man, and he's there about his woman. You know what I mean? Yep. So, and there was love there. There was companionship. There was trust. There was loyalty. And there was definitely an attraction there. Like, you can tell he's all about his woman, but there was never, like, that over-sexual, inappropriate moment.
Yeah.
And I love that. I love when...
You don't need that shit to tell a story.
And I hate...
Showing that they're together.
Yes, I hate that there's so many things out there that depend on sex and gore to keep the audience interested.
I mean, we like that stuff, but it's like, there has to be more.
Exactly. And I remember like towards the end of the movie, I was like, oh my God, it's about to end. What's going to happen? Like, I hope there's a second part. And then they totally leave it like open-ended a little bit.
I like that.
Wrap it up at the same time.
Yeah.
And it's evident that there's going to be a second one.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is how you tell a story.
Yes. It's brilliant.
Okay, well, that's my to-do list for today.
And King Arthur was the same way. He told a wonderful fucking story with that.
And it was very different.
Yeah, and there wasn't like the gore and violence in it was like moderate.
Yeah.
It wasn't overdone, it wasn't underdone. It was just like, okay, that's normal.
It's character driven. It's not
It is
action driven. Do you get chills? Look at you.
I do. It's so good. I loved it. I loved it every second. The only other thing I'm going to throw in here is, and I know you hate these movies, but that movie After that I watched, that romance that's based on a book.
Oh, on Netflix?
Yeah, the second part comes out this year, and it's in post-production. So I'm excited about that. I know you're not. But definitely watch The Gentleman. I had to purchase it. It's not on Netflix or anything like that.
I will fucking find it.
Even if you have to rent it for $5.99, $6.99, or whatever 99.
Oh no, I will happily do that.
It's worth it.
All right, listen to you.
48 hours is not going to be enough.
Sorry.
I gotta go. I have to go watch it. I'm gonna do it.
Oh my God. All right. Say goodbye to your peeps, Joe.
Bye.
Oh my God. I'm just gonna say bye like a normal person.